This is the GMEA Symphonic Band Technical Etude, excerpted from Ferling Study number 28 in C minor. I'm going to play it through once without the metronome set, likely a little under the tempo of 100, talk through some strategies, then I'll play it again with the metronome. And I can't think of a better approach than to take it all in one breath. Sorry about that. First thing to remind you of is if you need to mark in key signature and fingering reminders, never hesitate to do so. Left Fs, I use a forked F in bar 3 in the first beat of bar 3. If you need a reminder about A flats, just mark them in. Let's talk about the groove of this piece. It's a wall of 16th notes, and it can easily just seem like nothing more than a wall of 16th notes if you're not thinking groove, if you're not thinking grouping. So when I talk about grouping, it may look like everything is grouped according to beats, because that's how beams and bar lines work. I'm going to tell you that the beats are the visual aspects of the music don't help you in terms of learning the piece. If I think of this in terms of beats, I don't produce any flow. Dunka, 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 dunka. It sounds pretty static. It sounds really weighty with the beats, and that's not this piece. This piece needs to flow. So instead of thinking 1 eanda, 2 eanda, 3 eanda, 4 eanda, I think 1 eanda, 2 eanda, 3 eanda, 4. So the first beat of the first note of each beat is actually connected to the previous 3 notes. That way, every group goes across the beats, goes across the bar lines. And so on. Sorry about the wrong note. I hope that makes sense. Now, would I perform it with all those pauses? No. But if I play without the pauses, hopefully you can hear that the grouping is very much there and allows me to play with that flow that I'm talking about. And it really does make learning the piece easier if you learn your groups. And so on. And this is really important in, where I just stopped in bar 5. I got to tell you, I'm always surprised by the E natural that shows up there. I'm worried about bar 4, and then surprise comes along, and then the E natural comes along, and I have to quit. Or I have to stop. I have to practice it. When you're playing bar 4, think about bar 5. So that E natural, that switch to C major, that momentary switch to C major, doesn't catch you by surprise. See it coming. Finally, I want to talk about the concept of the chromatic lower neighbor. You notice that you got in the first bar, you got a G going down to F sharp and back. You got an E flat going down to D and back, and the same thing again in the end of the bar. So do you have to learn all these notes? Well, I'm going to tell you that these first 2 bars are basically nothing but C minor arpeggio. but that F sharp, what is that F sharp there to do? It's there to decorate the G. This was called a neighbor tone, and because it's not in the scale, it's called a chromatic lower neighbor. And that's all over this piece. So that should, if you can recognize your patterns of your patterns of those first two bars are primarily C minor triad, you can recognize that that you're learning a bunch of chords rather than a wall of 16th notes, which is intimidating. At this point, I'm starting to procrastinate on setting the metronome and playing the thing up to tempo. So gonna give that a go at this time. Here's 100. If I can commentate, while I was pleased with how the run through with the metronome went, I felt like I brought a lot more style to the to the table in my first go through. So as you're preparing, focus on learning the piece. Make the metronome marking your last priority. All right, don't even think about 100 as you're learning the piece. Learn the music, get it comfortable, and get that comfort level up to a decent tempo, because you still got to do the thing in one breath. That's not going anywhere. So you need to play it at a tempo where you can get through it in one breath. But if you don't get that comfort level up to 100, and I would argue that I have not, okay? I'm not playing it as musically as I do at like 92. In your audition, play it at a comfortable tempo, not a breakneck tempo, because the panel will hear a relaxed performance more than they will hear the exact tempo. They're not going to be holding up a metronome checking you against it. And if you're playing at 100 but are frantic, back it off a little bit. You will have a better audition for it. I hope this is helpful. Please be in touch with any questions, and good luck.